Leicester's longest running community allotment is celebrating their successful harvest this year. The scheme is called Plant to Pot and is attended by older Asian people who have caring responsibilities. Once a week, they take a break and are able to meet up, chat, grow Indian vegetables and make and share the most amazing food at the allotment. It all happens at the White House allotment, and Liam Haji Petro from Creative Futures Midlands is behind it and joins us now. Liam, thanks for taking the time, mate. It sounds like a brilliant concept. So where did this idea all come from?
Firstly, let me congratulate you on pronouncing my name correctly. Many people get that wrong. The idea, basically, it was a council-run community project funded about 10 years ago, maybe even 12 years ago. And it was founded by a councillor who was quite forward-thinking, called Malcolm Unsworth. And then sadly, all the funding was cut, as we know. This kind of thing happened. I was volunteering, and they said, "Do you want to run it?" And I said, "Okay, but I've got no idea. I know lots about gardening. I've got no idea about fundraising, risk assessments, or any of that stuff." So that was a while ago, and now I'm learning the hard way, if you like.
Learning on the job, chucking yourself in the deep end. It's all good. So tell us a little bit about what actually happens.
Well, luckily we are reaching communities that the National Lottery funded, and we've been funded by them for, about 6 or 7 years. And that's an annual process that we have to go through. So what we've got currently is we've got a lovely shed, which sits about 10, 12 people. We've got a 40-foot polytunnel, which is about 8 meters wide. And in there we grow all these exotic vegetables, some of which I don't even know the names of in English. Fantastic. We do craft sessions in the winter. Basically, we use it as a sort of fun space where people come cook, laugh, and grow stuff. And actually, over this COVID period, it's been a real respite for a lot of our volunteers.
Your phone line is a little bit in and out, but where you were when you finished that sentence is perfect. So if you can stand perfectly still, Liam, we will be grand. You mentioned then about being an outlet during COVID. I mean, this sort of thing is just great, creating that community, especially people, as I mentioned into the introduction, who have these caring responsibilities.
Yeah. Well, actually, during COVID, there was such fear from our volunteers, because we have lots of different types of volunteers. So actually on the allotment, what we try and do is we mix the communities, ethnicities, religions, and age groups. So we sometimes have kids in care that come and do whittling projects or gardening projects or help build something. And we invite them to participate at the same time as our Asian carers. So we're mixing different cultures, different age groups, and we try and do this through food, conversation, and laughter, and actually try and break down some of these barriers through actually spending time with each other and talking about our shared experience as opposed to our differences.
No, I was just going to say that sounds so wonderful. I was just intrigued to know what sort of reaction you get from people.
Well, for a lot of people during these times, everyone's terrified. We're not 200% sure what sort of stuff is coming out of our televisions. We're not sure if we should or shouldn't be wearing masks. We're not sure if this thing's going to kill us. So there's so much fear. And now I think that's really affected people's mental health. So now is the time to actually concentrate on socializing, growing stuff, and all that stuff that we have always known that's good for us. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. So during the COVID times, we got funding again from the National Lottery to do emergency food deliveries, because a lot of the food parcels that the volunteers were getting had things like spam in them and baked beans. But of course, they're all vegetarian and they're all used to cooking from fresh ingredients. So we go to the local supermarket and say to the local supermarket, look, this is a bit of an emergency. Do you have anything that is going slightly that you can't put on the shelves that we can donate to our people? And that 5 minutes conversation over the 2 years really, really helped people to get out of the houses, even on their doorstep. So much so that we actually did weekly Zoom cookery classes, and we did weekly craft sessions, and I would deliver the crafts or the food, and we would all get together once a week over Zoom, and we're talking, some of the people, English is their second language, and they're illiterate. And that really, really helped them with their mental health. So now, as soon as the sun's shining, everybody's down. We're going to have a karaoke, samosa and eat a mess party down at our allotment. And we're all really looking forward to it.
That sounds wonderful. A proper way to celebrate. Liam Haji Petro from Creative Futures Midlands. Thank you so much for taking the time, mate. Really appreciate it.
Can I just give a quick plug? We are also going to be on East Midlands tonight, this evening, because the film crew are coming down as well to film some of this action.
Love that.
Karaoke action. I'm not trying and sing too much because it might break people's speakers.
Liam, that is East Midlands today. That is tonight, BBC One from 6:30. Liam, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you very much for taking the time. No, thank you very much.
And you know what? I offered Liam the opportunity to pick a karaoke tune, but he's insisted he's not going to be doing too much of the singing tonight. So I thought maybe I'd play my karaoke tune. This is one that I've adopted from my dad and from my mama, who was a big fan of the King Elvis Presley. You'll see me cracking this out karaoke. Suspicious Minds.